Level 1, $0. You have an idea, a laptop, and a bank account with $0 that you've just labeled with your business name. No one calls you founder. You don't even call yourself that. It feels embarrassing to say. At night, after your day job, you build a landing page. No one sees it. You post on Facebook, 3 people like it, 2 of them are your relatives. You send a cold email for your first customer, no reply comes. You send a second, no reply. On the third, someone writes back, not interested. You spend the entire day replaying those 2 words in your head. You don't have the money to open an LLC, so you operate as a sole proprietor. You can't afford an accountant, so you track everything yourself in a spreadsheet, which ends up wrong every single week. The bank doesn't see you as a business owner. The bank sees you as a person whose account occasionally gets small deposits and mostly gets nothing at all. You want to run a small ad campaign with a $20 budget. Your card gets declined because your checking account has $18 in it at that moment. Your friends ask how the business is going. You say, "Good building it." That sentence has become your shield. The reality is, you're writing code at 1 a.m., going to your job at 7 a.m., and taking client calls during your lunch break in a spot where the call keeps dropping. First rule, at $0 revenue, you aren't running a company, you're running on belief, and that's the only fuel you have. Level 2, $10,000. The first time more than 4 digits hit your account, you take a screenshot. You don't send it to anyone, just keep it for yourself. It's still part-time, but now you can call it a side business, not a dream. You open a Stripe account. The first time you see the payment processing fees, you're startled because no one told you that you have to pay money just to receive money. One client pays late, 30 days pass, then 45. You don't have a legal team, so you write a polite email yourself, editing it 3 times before sending. The money comes, but your confidence erodes a little. You realize you have no leverage. The bank now sends you an offer for a business credit card, but the limit is only $500, and they want a security deposit. You laugh because it feels just like that secured card from level $0. You worry about taxes for the first time. $10,000 in income means you have to report something, but you don't know how. You stay up all night Googling small business tax your country or wherever you are. No one teaches you, you teach yourself. Your coworkers still don't know about your side business, because if you tell them, you'll have to explain why it's still so small. Second rule, at $10,000, you've proven it can work, but you still haven't proven it will last. Level 3, $50,000. You start thinking about quitting your job, seriously, for the first time. You calculate in a spreadsheet how many months you could survive if revenue stopped. The answer terrifies you. 3 months. You still give your notice. The first month you don't sleep well. Every day feels like a mistake. Now time is entirely yours, and that's the problem. Before, the limitation of time was your excuse. Now you have no excuse. You hire your first freelancer at $8 per hour. The first time you hear the word boss directed at you, it feels uncomfortable. The bank now offers you a real business checking account with no fees because your average balance has hit the minimum. The same institution that declined you for $20 in ads at level $0 now offers you a $5,000 line of credit. An old colleague asks what you do now. You say, "I run my own company." And for the first time, the sentence doesn't sound like a lie. But at night, scrolling through invoice after invoice, you realize the profit margins are thinner than you thought. Costs are rising in lockstep with revenue, sometimes faster. Third rule, at $50,000, you're no longer running a hobby. But you still don't know if you're running a company or a job that you created for yourself. Level 4, $200,000. You have your first full-time employee. Their payroll, due on the 15th of every month, looms in your mind before your own salary. For the first time, you understand that the fear of missing an employee's paycheck is heavier than the fear of missing your own rent. You have an accountant now, a lawyer you call twice a year. Contracts are now real, with clauses and penalties. A big client wants to work with you, but demands 60-day payment terms. You don't have the cash flow to wait 60 days, yet you say yes because the deal is too big to pass up. You apply for a business loan, for real this time, and the bank speaks to you with a smile, looking at your revenue. The bank that ignored you at $0 now assigns you a business relationship manager. You see a competitor copy your idea for the first time, and there's nothing you can do about it. The people who transitioned from colleagues to employees now look at you differently, not as a friend, but as a boss. You eat alone, because at the dinner table, having a boss changes the conversation. Fourth rule, at $200,000, you stop working for profit. You start working for survival, not your own, but the company's. Level 5, $1 million, 7 figures. You don't say the word yourself, but investors say it when they call for the first time. Yes, investors, they find you now. You don't have to search for them. The same type of institution that never replied to your emails at $0 now calls you for coffee, asking about your availability. You rent an office, small but real, with a logo on the door. You have 10 employees. You know all their names, even their children's names. But you notice that decisions can no longer be made alone. Every decision touches the livelihoods of 10 people. The reason you can't sleep at night is no longer your own rent, it's their salaries. Your accountant is now a full firm, your lawyer a team. You fire an employee for the first time, and that night becomes one of the worst of your life. The media starts calling you a successful entrepreneur in a small article. Your family thinks you're a millionaire, though in reality, most of the money is tied up in the company, not in your personal account. You grow tired of explaining the difference. Fifth rule, at $1 million, you understand for the first time that success doesn't come alone. It brings with it people whose fates are now tied to your decisions. Level 6, $5 million. You now have a CFO, a head of HR, a layer of decision-making between you and every employee. You no longer know every name. For the first time, you sit in a meeting where someone from your own company doesn't recognize you, and it feels strange. Not loneliness, but something close to it. Investors now sit on your board. Every major decision is no longer yours alone. You have to explain, defend, and secure votes. A part of the company you built with your own hands is no longer entirely yours. On paper, others also have a say in decisions. The bank now offers you wealth management personally, because the company's valuation has begun to affect your personal net worth. Your competitors are no longer small startups, but large established companies with budgets that can spend more on ads than your entire revenue. You give a press interview, and the next day, a stranger comments that you're lucky, not skilled. You don't get angry, just tired. The teller who never saw you at $0 and the commenter who misunderstands you now are two forms of the same invisibility. Sixth rule. At $5 million, the company turns from your creation into an institution, and you shift from being its owner to being its steward. Level 7, $20 million. Your name now appears in industry reports, comparisons, rankings. Major banks call you personally, offering private banking, because the company's valuation is directly tied to your name. Your company receives acquisition offers not once, but repeatedly. Each offer keeps you awake, because each one comes with the question, do you still want to build this thing, or do you want to let it go? Your headcount has reached 3 digits. When you walk through the office, you can't recognize most faces. A junior employee sees you and gets nervous, as if you're a celebrity, and you don't know how to react, because deep down, you're still the person who spent an entire day ruminating over a single, not interested reply to a cold email. Your company begins acquiring smaller startups, just as larger companies once tried to acquire yours. That cycle makes you uneasy. You are now part of the very system that once ignored you. Seventh rule. At $20 million, you realize power never disappears. It only changes hands, and one day, those hands become your own. Level 8, $100 million. Your company is now an institution, a brand, something larger than yourself. In the boardroom, you are one among many, even though the name is still yours. Decisions now belong to committees, lawyers, shareholders. Nothing remains entirely in your hands alone. A statement is reviewed by 5 people before release. Before an interview, a PR team briefs you on what you can and cannot say. Banks no longer call you a customer, they call you a partner. Private investments come to you before they go public. At your child's school, other parents know your name, you don't know theirs. You attend a charity event where your name is announced from the stage, and applause comes from people who know your company's name but don't know you. Standing in that applause, you suddenly remember that first cold email, which got 3 likes, 2 from relatives. And right now, somewhere out there, someone is opening a laptop, building a landing page. Their bank account reads $0. They send a cold email. No reply comes. They don't yet know that the system isn't ignoring them. The system is simply waiting to see how far they can go. The same type of institution that will one day put a $100 million founder on stage is right now declining their $20 ad card. You are the same person at every revenue level. The system simply decides who you are based on the number next to your name. The system doesn't change at each level. The system reveals what it has always been, and one day, someone just like you will cross that distance. Which level in this entire story felt most real to you? And if you're still at level $0, just comment, starting. A few years from now, maybe you'll come back and reply to this very comment, I made it.